Hey, hello, hi, dear Swift learners. How are you all? I hope that you all are fine. And here I, Ritika, am back for you, bringing with me another new session. So I welcome you all over here at Swift Learn, which is India's most sincere learning destination, wherein we provide the classes for grade 1 to grade 10. Over here, you will be getting live and interactive classes with batches having 6 students at maximum. We have academic mentor team apart from teachers, so that the team can take care of students, can track their progress and can guide them. Also, we cover the syllabus as per your school exam schedule, so that you can perform amazingly well there also. Now, there are some of the key features of SwiftLearn which makes it all the more special. For example, there are detailed progress report, that is after every two and a half months you will be getting a progress report, which will be a kind of detailed analysis of what you have been doing in your classes. Then we have SwiftLearn Academic Test Series, which includes all the tests that you need to perform better. You can also take unlimited practice test, which includes 2 categories of subjective and objective. So all these things, experience yourself just by booking a very free trial class. All you need to do is download the SwiftLearn app, select your grade, and there you go. You can book your free trial class as per your convenience. If you are new to the channel of SwiftLearn, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you do not miss out any amazing update over here. And if you like the video, kindly press on like button. Having said that, let us quickly start organic chemistry part number 4. So we were doing organic chemistry. We have already completed 3 sessions of it, and today we are moving forward with 4th session of organic chemistry, in which today we are going to basically focus on alkynes, isomers, the structure of ethyne, what is the preparation, what are the properties and uses of ethyne, and we are going to learn a bit about alcohol, their preparation and properties. So let us quickly start. In our last class, we have studied about alkenes and alkanes, and we have also studied how they are prepared, where are they found, what are their uses, etc. So today we are going to focus on alkynes. What are alkynes? Triple bond. So it is a homologous series. These are the hydrocarbons that contain triple bond between 2 carbon atoms. Okay, and because they have triple bond, they are unsaturated compounds. Okay, so in saturated we only have alkanes, and alkenes and alkynes, they are coming under the category of unsaturated compounds. The general formula of alkynes is CnH2n-2. So here if I talk about carbon atom, so the carbon atom here, N denotes the number of carbons. Okay, for example 2, and here H, that is hydrogen, it is 2n-2. So 2 into 2 minus 2, so it again goes like 2. Okay, so this is how the bonding will be done, and you can see here 3 bonds are here. So 3 electrons are taken from here, and 1 is shared by hydrogen and carbon. So this is how the valency need is satisfied. Now, if I talk about homologous series of alkynes, the molecular formula is C2H2. Okay, then we have C3H4, C4H6 accordingly. And talking about their common name and IUPAC name that we studied in our last class, that what is meant by common name, these are the name that we generally use for these particular structures, and IUPAC are the standard names. Okay, so C2H2, the common name is acetylene, and the IUPAC name is ethyne. Next, C3H4, the trivial or the common name is alylene, and IUPAC name is propyne. Why propyne? Because 3 carbon atoms, and why Ne? Because it is having the triple bond. Similarly, for 4 carbon atoms, it will be like butane. Now, talking about the sources of alkynes, there are 2 basic sources. First is natural gas, and second one is petroleum. Now, talking about the isomer. Isomer is the Yeah, so isomers, they have same structural formula, but they have same molecular formula, but their structure is different, and because of this difference in the structure, their property changes, their physical properties, chemical properties, they see a change. Okay, and if I talk about isomerism in alkynes, so alkynes having 4 or more than 4 carbon atoms, they form isomers. For example, if I talk about 4, so one structure can be the straight chain. Okay, one structure can be this one. Okay, and here also the isomerism can be shown in the positions. So alkynes, which have 4 or more carbon atoms, they can form isomers. And for example, the isomer of butane, it can be, first is but1-ine, which is on the first position, and second can be but2-ine, which is the triple bond exists on the second carbon atom. Now let us study about first member of alkyne series, which is ethyne. Ethyne becomes the first member of alkyne series, and it is also known as acetylene. Talking about the state in which it is found, so because it is unsaturated, it is not found in free state. And how do we find ethyne? First, it is present in coal gas and some of the gases which are decomposed, which are obtained by decomposition of complex organic compounds. Next, it is also obtained by cracking of alkenes from various functions of petroleum. We will be seeing how do we produce ethyne. Now, if I talk about the shape of ethyne molecule, it is linear, as you can see here. Okay, in ethyne, what is happening? Carbon atom, each carbon atom, it is attached to one hydrogen atom by single covalent bond, and the carbon atoms, they are having triple bond between them. So let us see some of the structures of alkyne. Okay, so here our first structure, you can see here. Okay, yeah, so the molecule is 1-hexyne. Why 1-hexyne? Because first of all, triple bond exists here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atoms, which is hexyne. Next, here it is again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atoms, but the position of triple bond changes, so it becomes 3-hexyne. Now here again we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atoms, but you can see here there are 2 triple bonds. So since there are 2 triple bond, it is like 1,3 hexadiene. Okay, why 1,3? Because triple bond is existing on these 2 places. And the last one, so this molecule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again here there are 6 carbon atoms, but the molecule's name is hexa 2-ene 4-ine. Why 2-ene and 4-ine? Because here it's double bond and here it's triple bond. So accordingly we will be naming it. Okay, let's move forward. Now, talking about the preparation of ethyne, like how is it prepared and what are the laboratory preparation methods of ethyne. First is, we will be doing one activity. We will be needing water, calcium carbide and a Thistell funnel. So what we need to do is, we will be taking a few pieces of calcium carbide in a flask, and we will be adding a few drops of water, okay, through Thistell funnel. What will happen? Calcium carbide, it will react with water and it will be producing acetylene gas, and this reaction is exothermic, which means it is releasing heat. So here you can see calcium carbide, it is reacting with water to produce calcium hydroxide and acetylene, which is our main product. And this gas, it is collected by downward displacement of water, okay, and this gas acetylene, it is ethyne gas. Next, preparation of ethyne from 2-dibromoethane. Now 1,2-dibromoethane, which is also known as ethylene dibromide, when we boil it using alcoholic potassium hydroxide, it again gives us ethyne. How? You can see it here, it is dibromoethane. Okay, when we are using potassium hydroxide and when we are making these two to react, what do we get? We get ethyne and other side products. Now, talking about some of the common properties of ethyne. Physical properties, first of all, it is a colorless gas, okay, Okay, then it is soluble in organic solvents. We have already seen that these all things, talking about ethyne, ethene, alkane, alkyne, alkene, these are all soluble in organic solvents, but they are not soluble in water. So again, acetone and alcohol, since they are organic solvents, so that is why it is highly soluble, but talking about water, it is not soluble. It is lighter than air, and it liquefies at minus 84 degrees Celsius, and the boiling point it is minus 75 degrees Celsius. And chemical properties, so we will be seeing some of the reaction that ethyne undergoes. So first is oxidation, which is a combustion reaction. So when we provide heat, ethyne, it burns in excess air, okay, and it gives a very good white flame to produce carbon dioxide, water, and a good amount of heat. Okay, so you can see, if you take ethyne, if you provide heat to it, it produces carbon dioxide, water, and a good amount of heat. Next, addition reaction, so catalytic hydrogenation. If we take catalyst as platinum, nickel, palladium, what is ethyne doing? Ethyne takes up these two atoms of hydrogen, okay, it is hydrogenation reaction. It takes up these hydrogen atoms, okay, and it gives ethene. Now if we further do it, we will be getting ethane. Okay, so see, here from ethene we get ethane. I'm sorry, it's written wrong here. It will be ethane. If we further do hydrogenation, we will be getting ethane. So what is the main reaction? From ethyne we get ethene, and from ethene we get ethane. Next, addition of halogen. So it's like if we have chlorine, if we have bromine, iodine, etc. So these are added to ethyne, which change it into ethene derivative. It changes into carbon-carbon double bond, and then again to ethane derivative with single bond. So here we have taken acetylene ethyne, okay, we have added chlorine here, so it changes to acetylene dichloride 1,2-dichloroethane. Okay, and if we further add more halogen, it will be changing to carbon-carbon single bond. Next, acetylene reacts vigorously with chlorine gas in presence of sunlight to give out flames. Okay, so with chlorine gas, it gives out very good flames. Okay, it reacts in the presence of sunlight. And talking about reaction with iodine, it reacts very slowly, okay, in the presence of alcohol, and it gives it diiodo derivative. Okay, so if we take ethyne and if we add iodine, it will have a slow reaction to give 1,2-diiodoethane. Reaction with hydrochloric acid, so ethyne again it reacts with hydrochloric acid to form chloroethane, and finally if we keep on reacting, we will be getting 1,1-dichloroethane. So here from acetylene we are getting chloroethane, and further we get 1,1-dichloroethane. Next, talking about reaction with O3, that is ozone. Ethyne, it reacts with ozone at room temperature and it produces acetylene ozonide. So this is the basic structure of acetylene ozonide, okay, when ethyne reacts with ozone. Now talking about the uses of ethyne. First of all, it is used for oxyacetylene welding. It is used for welding at high temperature. Then it is used as illuminant in oxyacetylene lamps. It is also used for artificial ripening of fruits and also to preserve the fruits. Then the main use here is in synthetic industries for artificial rubber, etc. Then we also use it for making the organic compounds like acetic acid, plastic, rubber, etc. Okay, now we are moving further with alcohols. So alcohols, these are the hydroxyl derivative of alkanes, and what are we doing, how we are getting it? We are replacing one hydrogen atom with OH group, and the formula of this series goes like CnH2n. Now plus 2, it will be plus 1, and in place of 1 we will be adding OH group. So we are going to see basically what are alcohols, and then we will be moving further.
In this video, you will learn some of the chemical properties of alcohols, how to classify alcohols, and some uses of the alcohols. Alcohols are organic molecules with the hydroxyl functional group, which is an oxygen bonded to a hydrogen, OH. Here is methane. Replace a hydrogen with the alcohol functional group to form methanol. Here is ethane, and here is ethanol, propane and propanol. Pause the video and name this molecule. This was butanol. Did you get it right? The general formula of the alcohols is CnH2n plus 1 OH. The OH group generally makes alcohols polar molecules. The hydroxyl group also gives rise to hydrogen bonding. In our video on fractional distillation, we discussed how increasing chain length increased the boiling point due to increased intermolecular forces. The alcohols follow this same trend, but their boiling point is even higher than their comparable alkanes, and this is due to the hydrogen bonding. Alcohols are placed in one of three categories: primary, secondary or tertiary, based on the position of the OH on the chain. Alcohols will react differently depending on the category they are in. In a primary alcohol, the carbon atom on which the OH group is bonded is itself attached to only one carbon chain or one alkyl group. Here is propan-1-ol. The OH is attached to the end carbon, and this carbon is attached to just one single chain of carbons. In secondary alcohols, the carbon atom on which the OH group is bonded is attached to two carbon chains or two alkyl groups. Here is propan-2-ol. Here is the carbon atom on which the OH is attached, and here you can see the two alkyl groups or two chains of carbons attached to this carbon. In tertiary alcohols, there are three carbon chains attached to the carbon on which the OH group is attached. As you can see, the carbon attached to the OH group is attached to three alkyl groups, making it a tertiary alcohol. It is important to categorise an alcohol as they have slightly different chemical properties. A good example of this that you could look into as further reading would be the oxidation of alcohols, with different reactions occurring for primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols. Different alcohols have different uses at home and in industry. Ethanol is of course a common alcohol used in beverages, but it is also an important antiseptic. Ethanol can be made by two main methods: by fermentation and by the hydration of ethene. We have made a video on these molecules to learn about these methods in more detail. Other uses of alcohols are as fuels, preservatives and solvents. Now, at the end of this tutorial, you should be able to identify the alcohol functional group, name alcohols, understand their uses, and be able to categorise them as primary, secondary or tertiary.
All right. Okay, so the video gave a basic gist of what alcohols are about. Okay, what are 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree alcohols, and what happens on the reactions. Okay, so we will be moving further to learn a bit more about these alcohols. So talking about first, methyl alcohol. It is known as methanol in IUPAC name. Okay, next is ethyl alcohol containing two carbon atoms, which is known as this is ethanol. It's wrong over here. Then for propyl alcohol, it is known as propanol, and accordingly butyl alcohol is known as butanol in IUPAC nomenclature. Now, Some of the important points that we need to remember over here is monohydric alcohol, that is with one OH group attached to one carbon atom. Then we have dihydric alcohol, in which there are two OH groups which are attached to carbon atoms. You can see it here. And trihydric alcohols, they have three OH group attached to carbon atom. So we have monohydric, dihydric and trihydric alcohols accordingly. Now methanol and ethanol, they are the basic compounds of alcohol. And what are they used for? Let us see. Where are they occurring? Let us see. Alcohol, first of all, they do not they are not found in Earth's atmosphere. They do not exist naturally. They are obtained by synthesis. Talking about the methanol, which is also known as wood spirit, it is obtained from destructive distillation of wood. And this ethanol, it is obtained from fermentation of sugar. Now talking about their preparations, we can prepare this alcohol by hydrolysis of alkyl halides, okay, and we are also preparing it by reaction with hot dilute alkali. Let us see how does it happen. Let's take one alkyl halide, for example CH3Br, okay, so it is methyl bromide. If we react this particular with aqueous solution of potassium hydroxide, what will happen? It will replace, so we will be having CH3OH, okay, so here we get an alcohol plus alkyl halide, okay. Next, industrial method. So in industries, the general method which is used is we are using water gas. So water gas is CO plus H2, and here we are mixing it with hydrogen, and we are using the catalyst, okay, of zinc oxide at 350 degrees Celsius and 300 atmospheric pressure. So it combines and forms what is known as methanol. Okay, now we are going to see how is ethanol formed through a short video.
There's a great demand for alcohols in industry. We use them to make antifreeze for our engines and for antiseptics to disinfect the skin. If you've ever used a hand sanitizer that works without water, that will have contained an alcohol. We also use the 2-carbon alcohol, ethanol, as an ingredient in alcoholic drinks. The alcoholic drinks industry is huge, and making beer or wine requires science. The process for making alcoholic drinks is called fermentation. The reactant in fermentation is sugar. It comes from natural plant extracts, barley in beer making and grapes in wine making. These sugars have the general molecular formula C6H12O6. Fermentation converts them into ethanol and carbon dioxide. You might notice this equation isn't balanced yet, so have a go as a mini challenge. Pause and continue when ready. Here's the answer. The problem is, this reaction happens far too slowly to be of use to industry, but it can be catalysed by the enzymes of a naturally occurring fungus called yeast. Let's move on to our second route. This one also makes ethanol, this time from a hydrocarbon called ethene. You might have come across it in our videos on hydrocarbon cracking. Here's the ethene molecule and its molecular formula. Here's the ethanol molecule from before. Now look at the numbers of each atom on both sides. Can you think of a very common molecule we can add to ethene to produce ethanol? Again, pause and think, then resume. Well, the answer is the good old water molecule. It's reacted with the ethene in steam form, and the ethene double bond breaks open, allowing addition of H2O. Phosphoric acid is used as a catalyst. Note that ethanol is the only product in this reaction. The ethene route is faster and more efficient as there is no waste product formed, only the useful one. Fermentation also yields carbon dioxide, which isn't useful to us. But ethene is cracked from crude oil, which is a non-renewable resource, so we won't be able to carry on acquiring it this way forever. Plant sugars, on the other hand, are a renewable resource. The ethene route also requires much more energy, The initial crude oil must be heated to a high temperature, and so too does the water to create steam. The fermentation route requires heating only to 37 degrees.
Alright, so now we will be moving forward. This video gave a basic gist about how ethanol is formed. Okay, so it's ethanol, it can be formed by hydration of ethene and also by fermentation of carbohydrates. Now we are going to see some of the basic chemical and physical properties of alcohol. Talking about the physical properties, they are inflammable, volatile liquids. Then talking about their molecular weight, as their molecular weight increases, the boiling point increases. Alcohol, it is very well soluble in water and also in organic solvents. Ethanol, it is a bit lighter than water, so density is low, and they are toxic and they are colorless, but they have a kind of burning taste. Chemical properties, if we go for combustion, alcohol, it do burn in air and it produces carbon dioxide and water vapor. Talking about the various oxidizing agents like potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, in the presence of acid, these alcohols do react. Like if we use methyl alcohol, it gives aldehyde and further it gives carboxylic acid. Similarly, it goes with ethyl alcohol, it gives ethanol and it gives ethanoic acid. Reaction with sodium. So here hydrogen is evolved when we react it with sodium. Okay, so what is happening is hydrogen, it is evolved with the formation of sodium methoxide and sodium ethoxide respectively. So whatever alcohol we take, we will get sodium methoxide or ethoxide accordingly. With methanol we will get sodium ethoxide, and with ethanol we will be getting sodium ethoxide. Reaction with acetic acid. So when we react alcohols with acetic acid in the presence of H2SO4, okay, and the temperature needs to be a bit high, so we will be getting ester. So this particular reaction, it is known as esterification. Why? Because here the byproduct that we get, it is ester. Okay, methyl acetate or ethyl acetate, these are the esters, and therefore this reaction is known as esterification reaction. Next is dehydration with concentrated sulfuric acid. So when we add sulfuric acid to ethyl alcohol and we heat this mixture, we get ethane. Okay. Next, reaction with phosphorus halide. So when we take alcohols and when we react it with phosphorus trichloride at normal temperature, at room temperature, so what do we get? We get chloroalkane and phosphorus acid. Okay, so here it is chloromethane that we get, and here it is chloroethane that we get. It depends on which alcohol we are taking, methanol, ethanol, or accordingly. And uses of alcohol, it is used in antiseptic, it is used as antidote against methanol poisoning, used in laboratories, and it is a very good solvent, so used in medicines, sterilization, automobiles, and also in drinks and beverages. Alright, so what are the things that we have learned today? We basically learned about alkyne, isomerism, and we learned about alcohols. So I hope that you might have understood every single thing from this video, and we will be meeting in next session, in which we will be doing a level up and we will be learning a bit more things about hydrocarbons. So till then, keep learning. If you have missed out on videos, please go and see them on the Swiftlearn channel, and we will be meeting in the next session. Till then, take care. Bye bye.